Hello and welcome to another live stream of the cryptocurrency bull market watch here with IntroToCryptos on YouTube, and we're over on Twitch and we're streaming live on Facebook right now at the same time. If you're on YouTube, click on that subscribe button below the video and be sure to click on the little bell beside it so that you get notifications when the next live stream is starting up. This project started out back in late August when the markets were looking like they were finally hitting a bottom. And on the 9th of September, I went through and I did screenshots and made price predictions on all of these different markets. And many of them, well, on September the 11th and 12th, many of them failed right away. The markets came down and they made new lows after the August 13th low. And many of these price charts are just fantastic to watch. And this took a while longer than I thought, but we've had this run up here in Coin just recently. And it's really great to go through these and check them out. It's a good education for me because I made the predictions and then I go through and see how they actually turned out. So all the way through September, we started doing tracking of all of these different markets, which ones we're showing a positive divergence from Bitcoin, which one have great potential, which ones have good potential, marking them all out so I could go back and double check to see how well I was predicting it. And then I started to get more detailed here in September. I started to track which ones that actually made a buy signal by making a green bar on here, and which ones were alerts with a yellow bar, and which ones were a fail. That meant they went lower than the recent lows, so they were starting a whole new 1, 2, 3 bottom formation starting up. And then as things progressed, we saw some markets that were a buy signal, but their moving averages crossed over and they turned into what I call a cold fish. They were no good anymore. They said to get out of that market. And then they even went down into a fail position here as Bitcoin was delisted. So we tracked them all through September and October and November. And I started to chart the different colors of these trade signals. So the green was anything that was an alert or a buy signal in our hypothetical trading. Anything that was blue is neutral, so it's sort of in between the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's not dumping down to new lows, but it's not ready to break higher. And then the reds were for anything that was nearly failing, going down to brand new lows, or had failed and gone down to new lows. And in the middle of October, it was looking really good. We thought the bull market was actually coming to greet us, and then prices pulled back, and we can see this in the graph that overall on average on all of these different cryptos on Poloniex, we could see the bull market was just not ready yet. And as time went along, we know that on November the 21st, well, actually we had Bitcoin Hell Day on the 14th of November, and then Hell Day number 2 on the 18th. Then on November 21st, we went down to even new lows on most everything, and it just like reset the whole study because everything was different. And the simple trading plan, you can go and get a free chapter of the simple trading plan over on IntroToCryptos.ca. If you click on the little icon along the side, you can go to the download page and sign up, and you can get the free chapter for this from my book, and it explains what I'm talking about here in written form and give you some examples. And while you're there, I'd also recommend that you sign up for the bull market webinar, because it shows you a methodical and proven way to determine when the next cryptocurrency bull market is really going to be starting. And this is a study that was based on all of the last 3 cryptocurrency bull markets. So it's teaching us when to get in and when to get out, which is really important. So after the 21st, now things have really changed quite a bit, and we changed our approach. Instead of looking at the 12-hour bars and looking for the break of the downtrend line and the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation where the exponential moving averages crossed over and we had the breakout, that's going to take a little bit longer now because we've made new lows, and so it's going to take a while for that kind of careful trading system to mature out a bottom formation so that we can get our signals. And so we started to look at it in a more close range and changed our approach. So you can go back to the 22nd and 23rd and really learn more about that approach, because I was explaining it all through those videos. And then on the 26th, we went into a whole new different tutorial teaching about Ichimoku trading in cryptocurrencies. And it's been fantastic. It's really been a great addition to my toolbox. And the link to the spreadsheet is down below the video. Twitch is lagging. Well, that's too bad. I'm glad you're here, Samuel. Hello, AOL Chandra and Abby Normal. Good to see you back. Professor Wally. Professor Wally sent along yes to crypto. He's joined our Discord chat. And if you guys haven't already, and you're just watching now, jump in and join us on our Discord chat, where we continue on this cryptocurrency conversation throughout the day and the night, and it just keeps going. So as you can see, this study has been going on and evolving and changing over the last while. And what I did recently is I set up a brand new spreadsheet, and I started using the add-on. Can we see it here? Crypto Finance. If you haven't heard of that, Crypto Finance is a pretty slick system where it allows you to pull in all of the data. Let me pull this up a little bit so I can see. That's not working. There. So I can pull in all of the data from Binance, like all of it. All of the data from Poloniex, all of it. A whole bunch of data from CoinMarketCap for all of these different coins. It's enormous what the data that we can pull into this now. And so I'm going through and I'm crunching up that data, and I'm putting it into a format where we can see the Bitcoin value, the US dollar value, the market cap of the coin, the status of the trade, the target entry, the trade type, the stop loss for it, the potential risk if that stop loss is hit. And of course, when we're in a profitable trade and the stop loss is above the trade, then the risk is positive. It's going to be 13% gain on that trade, hypothetically. And right now is the current price and what the current profit loss is on the trade. And this is a great spreadsheet. What I've done with it is I've drawn it into the website so that this spreadsheet is embedded into the website, and you can sort the coin by status, which ones are just a watch, which ones are neutral, which ones are an alert, which ones are that we are actually holding here. And we can also go into the trades that we've initiated in our hypothetical system here. And you can see when we got into them, the entry price, the type of trade, and when we do have exit orders in those as we go through these videos. I'll update it and we'll have the exit price and the exit date. And we'll see, you can sort this by how many days the trade has been held. 71 days for our Ripple trade. We got into that on September the 20th by doing this study. Mana trade, we got in November the 8th. MadeSafe Coin, XEM, Factum, Dogecoin, Burst. All of these different things we've got in just 6 days ago on Burst. And we'll fill this out as time goes along. And so what I'm doing is evolving this whole system so that there is an easy way to access wads of data, tons of data about all of these different markets. And you can see here that we'll have the Binance low cap coins and the Binance trades. And I also have another version of this report where it's the Binance high cap coins under 50 cents and the Binance coins over 50 cents. So there's 3 different categories of reports on Binance. And all of these are available under the new cryptocurrency alert package. So you'll get emails on a regular basis that give you updates on all the stuff, and deep monthly reports on all the research that's been going on. And we're having a beta introduction right now on this, so you can save 45% on the monthly fee for it. And there's a second package covering all of the currencies on Binance and everything on Poloniex. And you can get a 50% discount on that in the next short while as it's just getting set up in its beta. Just as an introduction there, you can put your email in to try an alert package and see if this is something that's for you. So what the purpose of this is to give you all this data in a quick format so that you can either log in here so that you can see all this information, or you would get these alerts emailed out to you And then you would know which ones are coming up to be an alert and what the trade type is, so that you know that it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the 4-hour bars. And when you purchase one of these alerts, you get a discount on the book too. So I want you to understand what these trade signals are. We also have the Ichimoku bull signal, Ichimoku sell signal, and we can go through, and there's more trading education that goes along with this. Then the trade types, where I'm explaining the general signals: hold, alert, neutral, watch, entry signals, exit signals, and more details about the charts themselves. And of course, this is not trading recommendations. This is an educational package that's not meant as investment advice. You're to do your own additional research. And all of these things that I'm doing here are based on hypothetical performance. They're not actual trades that are put on. We're looking at the charts and we're going through these chart patterns. So if you are interested in this stuff, be sure to check with a real financial advisor, because I am not a registered investment advisor. This is my trading journal, and I'm setting it up in such a way that I can share it for other people to benefit from it. If this fits in your current goals and where you are on your path of learning about trading. And now, let's take a look at Bitcoin prices. Here's Bitcoin. You'll be billed, there's a monthly fee for it there, Samuel, and I accept up to 1,050 different cryptocurrencies. Where is that? I have partnered with 1,080 different cryptos now. So you can pay in crypto, or if you're really like I am, where I can't part with your crypto, then you can also pay with PayPal, but it's a little bit more expensive. So the crypto is a monthly fee, but it's paid annually, and the PayPal is every 3 months for that one. And as soon as I put that up, one of the members in our Discord chat said, "That's all you are charging? That should at least be $69 a month." And I said, well, the price will go up, but right now it's in beta, and I want to get this going smoothly. So I'd appreciate anybody who's interested in that. That'd be fantastic. Now, back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin prices, as you may remember, I did a video the other day saying blast off, and also that it's like the most dangerous time to be trading cryptos. And in the first 20 minutes of that video, I went over and explained why I'm saying that. And I gave a prediction as to what I think is going to be happening. So my prediction was at that time that prices were going to come up to here, as they did, and prices were going to come back to 3,800, and they came back pretty close. And then from this area, prices, I'm thinking, are going to go up to about 5,500, 53 to 5,500. And then from here, it's going to be really nasty. From here, whoops. Sometimes I wish I could just have a different button to drag the chart. Oh, look at that. From here, prices are going to go down to about $2,500, maybe $3,000 in that range. And this is going to be a sharp bottom. It's not going to be a long, flat, rounded bottom. It's going to dive down there, and it's going to burst back up on super high volume. Much like we saw back here, where prices went down, gathered a bit, and they went and spiked down, and then on super high volume, they came back up. And this is what I'm anticipating that we're going to be seeing. And it's just a conspiracy theory. It's my own take on what's been going on here. And of course, I can have no idea what's actually going to happen in the future. But this is a pattern that I've seen in other places of what happens when we have a this kind of bubble happen, where things have gone up on a hyperbolic curve here, a hyperbola. And then from there, it comes into a large descending wedge triangle. After that descending wedge triangle, we have 3 stages down. It recovers a bit, everybody gets all bullish, and then the big guys sell hard. And then we're going to be coming back down to these support and resistance levels here, the $2,500 level. And at that point, they're going to shift into a buying cycle because Bitcoin is amazing. And from there, we'll be starting on our way up again. This is my conspiracy theory. Now, zooming back into what's going on right now, this minute, we can see it came down 3 times off this level of the 3,900. And here was the call yesterday as it came up to this top, and it made these a high, and then it made a little bit higher high. We could see the major divergence in the RSI and the major divergence in the on balance volume at the same time. So I sent this out to our Discord chat and said, here it comes. This is what I was talking about, and there's the first top. So what I'm anticipating is that in this process that I'm calling for, right as we get up to this top here, we're going to see that same type of divergence as it comes up to make it a little double top or a single top with a little 1, 2, 3 top formation there. We're going to see that exact same thing happen, where it's going to come up, it's going to make that formation. We'll get the divergence in the RSI, we'll get the divergence in the on balance volume, and at that point right there, I'm going to sell all of my cryptocurrencies over into US dollar Tether or true US dollar or whatever it is. I think everything is going to be pumping up until that time over the next few days, maybe a week. And then it's going to be hell. And I want to liquidate everything and then redeploy after we get down to the $2,500 level. And it may not be the $2,500 level. It may, I'll pay attention to the chart pattern. Zoom this back far enough where it actually lets this come into the chart. So what I'll be looking for is the opposite down there, where we'll have a little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We'll have a positive divergence in the RSI and a positive change in the on balance volume at the same time. And I'll probably also bring up the Ichimoku clouds, and I'll be looking at those in detail as that's happening as well. So right now you can see I'm watching BitShares very closely because it's one of my favorite right now, and I've got the largest holding of that coin at this moment. But let's go and take a look at Bitcoin and the Ichimoku cloud. So it's down below the cloud, which is bearish, right? If it's down below the cloud, that's bearish. If the cloud has turned red, that's also bearish. So I'm anticipating that prices will come up and go through that cloud, as they did here, where they were below the cloud, and this is bearish, and they stayed below the cloud here. This is all still bearish. And then the cloud came very close, and off these bottoms, it pulled up, topped out, nice head and shoulders top formation, down through the cloud. Even though the cloud's saying bullish because the prices are above the cloud, it came back down through. And we'll see when this does turn around better that the conversion line will cross over the baseline here. The little blue line will cross over the red line as the prices are coming up, and then it'll go up through the cloud if I'm correct, and then we'll see that happening. And I'll be looking for what's going on in this cloud as a confirmation for me in the overall plan that I'm doing. So when it does come up to the 55, if it does come up to the $5,500, $53 to $5,500 level, I'll be watching the cloud, I'll be watching the moving averages, I'll be watching the RSI divergence and the on balance volume, the chart pattern, and that's what I expect for Bitcoin. Yeah, all altcoins, 1,070 or something of them, and I like them all. I'm not partial just to Bitcoin. So for instance, if you were to pay today in BitShares, that would be very good because BitShares are going up, I think. So now let's go back to the alerts package. I'm going to update this one separately, and I'll fill this detail out after this video. For today, I'm going to go back through the same process here, trying to drag that like it's a chart. And I'm going to go through each of these, Ardor, basic attention token, and on and on. So we'll start back here. Whoops. Poloniex, Ardor. and great to have you guys watching. I appreciate everybody who's here, and I appreciate thumbs down just as much as I appreciate thumbs up. Do you know why? Because it's engagement, and YouTube looks at engagement, not whether it's a thumbs up or thumbs down necessarily. So Ardor was a buy signal earlier. We had this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It broke out and gave us the buy signal. And it's come back and retested the number 2 point just like it does so often out of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And now it's looking pretty bullish. So we could have been stopped out in this trade. As prices went up, we could have moved our stop loss up above this level. And then this would have stopped us out and we'd have to be watching to get back in on a level higher now. And some strategies to do that. Another strategy is to trade with a position small enough that if it comes back and hits down to the number 3 point here, you're not going to lose very much money. I was referring to you selling when Bitcoin hits the top. Yes, I'll be selling everything because when Bitcoin plummets, everything else is going to plummet with it. And I'm expecting that over the next few days that things are going to be going up. And so I'm still holding everything now, and I'll be watching all of those for this kind of same formation, the top formation, the RSI divergence, and the on-balance volume that's showing me that the shift is in place. And if you go and check out the bull market webinar, I talk more in detail about that, and I give examples from the bull market session that went from March until July 2017, from December 2017 to January 2017, and then the little bull run from April and May of 2018. So there's 3 of them that I do a big study on, and I do hundreds of screenshots and detail where the entries were, where the exits were, and how to tell when it's an entry, when it's an exit, and what to do with it. So I think that's a really great webinar that's still really valuable. I thought it would be already in the bull market by now, but it isn't yet. And so let's go back to our spreadsheet, and I'm going to have to close this one so I don't keep opening it. Let me close that. I'll leave that open. So this one is still a trade signal. Maybe I shouldn't have closed that other one. I'm just going to do colors here today on this. But in the next couple of videos, I'll be retiring this chart entirely. And instead of sharing a link to the chart where you can go and see the chart and follow along with that, what I'll be doing is having a free sign-up area on the website where you can log in and you'll get this access to this data in a limited fashion, not so much as the paid fashion, but still so that you can be learning this stuff. But you'll have to put the time in to go through it all rather than the convenience of the advanced features. Basic attention token gave us our buy signal, and up it goes. Sorry. So we had the buy signal at 41.29 as our alert yesterday, and it has come through and passed that, so it's given us the buy signal. I'm going to move that out of the way so I don't keep clicking on it. So that was great. Nice chart pattern here. Really nice. Clearly coming up out of this range that the sideways parallel channel that it was in for a while there and poked up above it. So the strategy, if you're really careful, you would put your stop loss just above your entry point now to protect your money. Or if you have a position that is the correct size, so it's small enough that pulling back to here wouldn't lose you very much money, then I would recommend being your stop loss being below technical levels. BNT. I'm going to close that. BNT, I have to go over to Binance so that we have a chart that has enough data. Okay, so BNT gave us some popcorn moves coming up in this market. It's telling us already that the popcorn moves are going to be coming here. This was great, and it came from 000. That went up a good amount. I think if I hold shift and pull down this way, this was 10% move, 7.5% move. Pretty good. And what was our entry target? 000175. 000175. So we would have been touched into this and then pulled back down. So that's a nasty trade. We have to take that as a loss because well, it's one strategy to take that as a loss if you were to be touched in on this trade, but I think that it's going to be doing more of these popcorn moves in the next little while. It's very possible. And it's not really the chart pattern that I like the best. It didn't give a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but it's giving us the pre-pump candles. So if we had been touched in and it pulled back, you could say, you know what, I just think this is going to blast and I'm not going to get kicked out because I put my stop loss in after I got into the market. Maybe if I got in and I saw what it was doing and I put my stop loss in, I may have already been kicked out at a loss. So this one's a potential loss there. And okay, it wasn't even marked as an alert. It was just a signal there to watch those prices. So now I'm going to mark it as an alert again. And we'll play it that way. This is why this is a hypothetical study. Educational. Back to Poloniex. Over to BCN. BCN, I'm not expecting anything out of, just because of the amount of sell orders above it in the order books actually is just huge and very heavy. But it's still within this channel, and I'll have to call it. If it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom and it's starting to break higher, I'll play it anyway, but nothing yet. BTC, you see here the 5,500 exit, so that's where I'll be watching to get out of that one. BTS, we had the alert at 12:45. Zoom into the 1-day view. What was that? Back out. So yeah, you can see the go back out to the 3-month view. You can see the divergence in the RSI, the on-balance volume, while the price is pretty much holding steady there. Really nice chart pattern. And now we're seeing some pre-pump candles coming on in this one and some little pre-pump candles. So for me, this is really a market that's warming up for a serious move. But did we hit the 12:45 since we did the last video? Yes. So we're in on this market at 12:45. So this one's green now. And of course, this is not following the simple trading plan. The simple trading plan is to look at the 12-month bars, wait for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, have the moving averages cross over as the price breaks above the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And it's also looking for the third criteria is a break of the downtrend line. And this has not broken the downtrend line significantly yet. So it wouldn't follow into the simple trading plan criteria. You'd still be sitting on your hands and waiting. So this is a shift from the simple trading plan into a much shorter term look, but it'll be played the same way as the simple trading plan up until price hits that $5,500, and then I'm going to be liquidating. We'll see how that goes. I love to do these videos and talk it all out and then go back and see how it actually turned out. Burst was a buy signal, and then we had an add-on signal on this one, and it's taking off and doing very nicely. 1 week view, 3-month view. Even on the 3-month view now, we've had that moving average crossover. It's broken out very nicely. Love it. So I don't know what this was saying here, but this is where I'm expecting it to top and make a top formation here, just because of the technical levels. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Great to see. Burst, so it remains marked as a dark green, which means that we added on to that position. There's 2 risk control rules we're trying to practice here as well. Mr. Krager, thanks for joining. The book is not available yet as a printed hard copy. I have to do some additional formatting with the text, and I'm adding in another couple chapters. So if you buy the PDF version, you get all of the updates as they come out. If you buy the hard copy, that when I have that ready and I have that out there, of course, it's hard to send you an update on the hard copy. Great to see. Clam. Straight through the roof. We had a buy signal laid out in this. I didn't actually trade it myself, and I was kind of kicking myself because I was watching BitShares and I was looking at Clam Coin, and I thought, no, I'm going to put my money into BitShares. It may turn out well, but this was certainly a great buy signal. And we were watching it ahead of time. We made the video talking about this strange chart pattern that was building up. And we can zoom in on that chart pattern right in here. It doesn't look like much on this time frame. But if we go back, I can't go back properly on this. Not even on this one. So I'll give up for now. I have to go back to that video. But there was some really weird pre-buying signals going on in this market. It was really weird to see. It was like a bot was doing it, buying and buying and buying up to a certain price and then stopping. And then prices built up and away they went. So what's the plan in this after you get into a market like this? For the long-term trade of the simple trading plan, you would be buying into it and you wouldn't do anything yet. You'd be sitting back and you'd be waiting for this to come back and make a consolidation and an internal 1, 2, 3 bottom, just like basic attention token did, and then you would buy in more. So you wouldn't take your profits so quickly. You're expecting this is going to go somewhere. Another strategy is that you would take a part of your profits on these highs, and then if it came back here, you'd put those profits back in and you would have a larger position that way. But the two risk control rules we try to follow are assume you are wrong unless the market proves you correct when you first put on a trade. And so you reduce or remove your position right away if the market doesn't prove you correct. Don't sit there hoping. Hope is a beggar, and you don't want to be begging the markets. So the plan is to treat this as though you're going to be wrong, because in trading, it's not wrong to be wrong. You can be wrong many, many times and expect to be wrong. But when you are right, then the second rule is to add on. So then you have a larger position. And over time, as you average these all out, you'll have these losses with smaller positions, and you'll have winners with much bigger positions. And so the winnings that you get are much proportionately larger than the losses you get. And over time, that's how the profits build up. So Civic Coin, we had our target at 1709. You're welcome, Samuel. I'm grateful for the questions. Target at 1709. Okay, so we didn't get up there at all yet. 1709. I'm putting it up above these, right at the top of this thing here. I'm making it work for my purchase. So right at the top of these pre-pump candles, out of this sort of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, that's where our buy signal will be. So it remains as an alert, and it wasn't put as an alert last time, but I'm making it an alert this time. Dash, our watch target was the 0.02506. Not yet. 2506, 24, 25, 2506, making it come all the way up here before we're getting into it. So we'll see what happens on Dash. And so it's not even an alert yet. Decreed, we had 00596. So it's even lower, 0059. So I'm making this one do its work too. It really has to turn around or give me a better little bottom formation here that I can work with, because it's been just a downtrend all the way along here. And I got to point out that when we did get our original buy signal in this market, I'm going to go to the 3-month view, zoom back a little bit. We were seeing that through August and September and October, it was making these lows and a little bit higher, and it was building up, and we actually got our buy signal here as we had the 1, 2, 3 bottom, moving averages crossed over, prices came up. I didn't sell out here as the moving averages recrossed. Prices, it got listed on Binance and immediately pumped, and it's faded off, and for a little while I was overriding this exit signal right there. I was saying, you know, it's still above this support and resistance, but it would have been very wise to follow that signal and get out there without thinking about it, because look at what it's done since then. It's really come down quite a ways from 63 to 49. That's a fair distance, and it hasn't given us any kind of bottom formation yet. If I go to the 1 year view, it is down to some important technical levels from the past. It really could find support here, and that's what we'll be watching for as I zoom back in. It's made a new number 1 point. It has to give me a little bit better signal. So we're going to go over to Binance and take a look at Ravencoin, RVN. I actually did some Ravencoin mining, and I have a few in a wallet that I'll just printed it out, a paper wallet, and I put it in the safety deposit box in the bank, and I'll see what goes on in a few years. One of those coins. So Ravencoin was listed on Binance, and it did a really nice move off the beginning, as you know, and most coins when they're first listed, they dump like crazy. So this is pretty good. But then it made the 1, 2, 3 top formation, and the exit signal was hard to take because everybody was so bullish on it, but the charts tell no lies. It's a 1, 2, 3 top formation, and it broke below that. So you might have actually got out here when this little trend line was broken, but that's all great in hindsight. Now we have prices come down, up again, and back down. So this is giving us a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on this time frame. What are we looking at? 12-hour bars. So now we zoom into the 4-hour bars, and we have a little tiny 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, kind of. But certainly we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here. And if you're looking for the trend, then a break above this level would be bullish, then the place to be looking to get in. If you're looking for the springboard entry, then you're looking for when it makes a little baby 1, 2, 3 bottom formation inside that number 3 point. Zoom right into this 1-day view, and we have lower lows, lower highs. So it's consolidating, but it's not giving me enough of a turnaround to jump in on this as a springboard trade. I'd like to see a little higher lows on this before it's giving me permission to do something. So it's still, for my own part, I need to see more turnaround in this, and like the market stepping in. I want the crowds to be moving into this, and I just surf on the wave. Ichimoku. Let me open it in a new tab so that I can load that chart layout. And then I go back to Binance, RVN. It is still bearish. It's still below the cloud on the 5 minutes. So this is the 15 minutes. And the cloud hasn't given a twist yet. The conversion line is still below the baseline. So there are a few things to set up here before this is giving us that bull signal. And actually what it's been giving us here is a sell signal in a downtrend. Each time it's coming up into the cloud and then breaking past the conversion line, breaking past the baseline, that's actually a sell signal right there. And it comes up and it gets into the cloud, and then it passes the conversion line and the baseline, that's a sell signal right there. So if it comes up and it passes the base and conversion line again, it's another sell signal. And if it makes a sell signal here, it's probably going to retrace back pretty good. It'll come back down to the 400 Satoshi level. So it's a pretty precarious place to be placing bets. I do need to see that change direction and give me some movement, because it's the right side of a shoulder here, a head here, and this is a fading shoulder going off the other side. It doesn't look like it's time to be buying into it. Hello, Adriana. Good to have you here. The Ichimoku. Crypto Trader Vader. I'll do a stream after you're finished. I'll be there to watch it. Crypto Trader Vader has been a long-term member of the community that I put together, and he's done some great stuff. I am super stoked to see him doing some videos, and it's going to be a animation come up on the screen now, and I just want to like wait for that. Just as curious, someone. There it is, a new super chat from Crypto Trader Vader. Another $2 tip, and I appreciate that. Watch these drip into the tip jar. And if you guys see, Professor Wally just took a hit on his hit points, and he's down to 4,100 hit points now. If you guys also throw in some tips, it'll knock his hit points down even further. Or all you have to do is subscribe, actually, and it knocks his hit points down. Now we had a request to look at Bitcoin in the one-day view. Bitfinex, Bitcoin. It's certainly still below the cloud and just touching it now. And that would, if it comes back down here, that's going to be another sell signal. And that would start to undo my prediction. So we'll look at the one-day view, and it's still very bearish. So the cloud has been showing us all the way along here that this has been a bear market. Another thing that's important to know about the Ichimoku cloud, and let me go to a different place and search this out. The Ichimoku cloud settings for crypto are suggested to be different than the standard basic settings. So instead of what I'm using, he's saying 2061 2030. Let's see what that does. $20, $60, $120, $30. And then when we look at it, you can see how firmly this was sell signals as it came a little bit into the cloud, and then down it went a little bit into the cloud, and as it crossed over those conversion lines and the baseline, it's a sell signal. And it stayed very heavily bearish all the way along. And I was anticipating, because all of the cryptos were making these bottom formations and looking like the bull market was starting back here in October, I was anticipating that that was a sign that money is flowing into all the cryptos and that Bitcoin would be taking off out of this. And I wasn't watching the Ichimoku clouds at that time. And now this is still monstrously bearish, and we have a long ways to go before this comes up and breaks through that cloud to show that we've changed directions. And this, it fits in with the overall pattern for a massive pump like this, where we see the parabolic move like this, and then we see the descending wedge triangle. And if I turn on the volume, at the apex of this descending wedge triangle, we also saw the classic technical analysis sign of descending volume all the way along at that time. So now, as the prices have been dropping, we're seeing a massive increase in volume over what it was just recently. Lots of trade volume going on. But another thing to remember is that we are seeing trade volume that's very significantly different than when Bitcoin was trading in the past through the last bubbles. It's a very different volume. Here, as prices were going up, we saw massive volume. It's trickled right off, and now it's picked right back up again. So hopefully this helps. Another thing that I wanted to add in there is this classic pattern of the parabolic move, the descending wedge triangle. Then we expect to see prices come up and retest this. Everybody's going to get super excited. Then we'll see the massive low to the 2,500 and a spike back up, and then we'll start to see prices go up above where we've been before. And then we'll start to see some sideways ranging from this area after it comes up to the 8,000 level. My thinking is then we'll go into some sideways range for a while. It'll be quite frustrating as it floats along here before we start staging up. And when it does stage up, I'll make this long-term prediction, we're going to see an ascending wedge triangle. And so when we see this ascending wedge triangle, then we're going to be super ready for what's going on. Let me take a screenshot of this. And I'll share it. I think, yes, Samuel, it's going to break 19K again. And I think it's going to be going to 80,000 in the next run up. But it's going to take, when we saw this run go up, it was September the 24th of 2015, right in here. And the nature of the buying, the nature of the trading, the buying actually changed right here. You could really see it in the charts. I was watching it like a crazy man, like I am now. And on the 24th of September, I put in my first 2.5 Bitcoin that I actually purchased with cash. Everything else I had been earning or doing faucets all the way through this time. Any different way I could be making Bitcoin and putting it in here. And it was very frustrating trading all the way through this area. But it took from the end of 2015, 2016, and here's our ascending wedge triangle. So prices come up and they range sideways. This is from November of 2015. It made this high, and then it went all the way along until May of 2016, June of 2016, before it finally went out of this ascending wedge triangle. So these are some of the patterns that I'm basing my thinking on. Then we have another ascending wedge triangle here before prices burst off. And then we didn't get the ascending wedge triangles. Now we're seeing retracement pump, and coming back into the cloud, and then we have a buy signal on an uptrending market when that happens in the Ichimoku cloud. And we'll be watching this, and it'll certainly be part of my bull market studies that are going to be in the trade reports, the trade alerts. The trade alerts will have the Ichimoku cloud alerts in here when prices come back and they cross over the conversion line and the baseline. This is a buy signal in an uptrending market. Then it comes back and it dives in, and as it's breaking back above these, there's your buy signal in the uptrending market. Here's another one. We had the buy signal, came back and touched the baseline and crossed the conversion line. There's another buy signal in an uptrending market. So these could be places where you're you're selling your house and you're putting it into Bitcoin. I'm kidding. But this is where I'm anticipating that same style of pattern to go on. So all the way up, like we saw in the after September the 24th, 2015 until the end of November, and then many months of this build up before the next stage goes. All right, so I did share that chart in the chat, and I'm going to put it into our Discord chat too, because I want to look at that prediction in a year and see what actually happened there. So there's Ravencoin. The Ichimoku cloud, look at Ravencoin. The Ichimoku cloud on the other altcoins are going to follow the same kind of trend. There's a different flavor to what I think the altcoins are going to do, but I am thinking that there's going to be a 12 to 18 month bull run when the bull market actually does start. I think it's not going to be the same as it was last time, where we went from March of 2017 till July of 2017. That's March, April, May, June, July. 4 months that prices went up, and then they all came all the way back down. This time it's going to stage up and stage up and stage up, just like we saw Bitcoin do from 2015 to the end of 2017. That was a 2-year bull market, and then it crashed. And I think that the alts are going to do 12 to 18 months of stages up and stages up like that. And so that's why I'm putting in so much work here, because I really believe it and I want to be prepared for it. I want to make the same crazy money that I made last time when there was these bull runs. It was crazy. I had $7,000 at the beginning of 2017. By July of 2017, I had $120,000. By December or January of 2018, I had over $500,000. Crazy. And I want to do the same thing again this time. So I'm studying hard. And the more people I can help come along on this wave, the better. I can't make all this money myself. There's too much. I don't have enough money to hog it all. Digibyte. I don't have the money to put into Bitcoin at this time, so altcoins is where I'm going to have to focus and believe. Focus on your percentage gains and not how many dollars you have. When I started out, I had $15 in Bitcoin tips, and that was January 2015. By May of 2015, I had $500 in cryptos. By May of 2016, I had $5,000 in cryptos. So I had 10 times my money in that year. And that's all you got to think about is just 10 times in your money, or double your money, whatever. Just think of the percentage gains and not how many dollars you have. And keep focusing on that, because it'll actually rewire the way you think and feel about money in all parts of your life. You will start to become have a better relationship with money, and you'll make money into your friend. You'll start to get the confidence that you can make money work for you. And you'll start putting all the money you can. You'll save that 10% of your wages every 2 weeks, and you'll be investing it. You'll be putting it into stocks. You'll be putting it into silver. You'll be doing well with it. And so if you do purchase my book, it's not just about trading cryptos. It's actually about the philosophy of wealth. And I go into, before I started getting good at crypto trading and did well in crypto trading, I did a lot of years of changing the way I thought and felt about money, and that's what brought the success on with crypto trading. So that's what I start off with in my book, is teaching that stuff. Digibyte, we had a buy signal at 334. 334. Really? We waited that long to get the buy signal on that? Now prices have pulled back. I have to double check that. Yeah, 334 was where the signal was set to, and the buy signal came in at 334. Now it's pulled back to 317. So this one I would have gotten kicked out of. I would have taken this as a exit on that. And that's too bad. The buy signal was in the wrong place compared to what's actually happened in history. And I don't know why I would have set it up that high instead of having it down here out of this little 1, 2, 3 bottom. This is the great thing about having these videos, is to go back and look on it. And you can see this wedge here too, and what happened after it. Zoom into the 1-day view of this now after this wedge, and it's pulled back. Now it'll, if I wanted to re-enter this, it's not as easy now. In the 3-month view, we still have lots of time. It's still fine. We're still waiting for this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and a break above these levels, and it turns into a simple trading plan entry now. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and then when it breaks above that level, it would be a buy signal again. And this is why we have rule number 1 and rule number 2. Rule number 1 says, assume you are wrong unless the market proves you correct. Reduce or remove your position. Rule number 2 says, add on to your position correctly without exception, which means that you cannot buy your whole investment at the beginning. If you have $100, you could put in 30 of it. And if it doesn't prove you right, you take that trade off. If it proves you right, you add on to it. You buy $30 more. And so it keeps your losses small. So this would have been a very small loss. And then we may have lost $5 of our 30, and we have $25 to be starting off with next time. If it proves us right, we can add on to that. And so our loss would be very small as an experimental position on this. But a loss it is nonetheless, and I have to mark that in there. Dogecoin was a buy signal a while ago. Yeah, put a link up to your channel, Crypto Trader Vader. Dogecoin was a buy signal a while ago, and it was on the 4-hour bars. I got to zoom out to the 1-week view. And this was pretty cool because it was showing a great divergence in the RSI. The on-balance volume was picking up. And we had this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, bought in here. Prices came up. I actually took profit on that. It's pulled back, but it's looking like it's going to be staging up again. So in the spreadsheet, this is still a buy. We bought in, and it's still holding, so we're still staying there. Now, EOS and Ethereum Classic both made new number 1 point lows last time. So when I go into EOS, it just pulled right back and it's made a new number 1 point. I'm going to wait for a while for this to do something different. Let's zoom out to the 1-week view. That is the 1-week view. 1 month view, pull it back. So we're at historical importance, historical levels here. We could zoom back in on this and wait for this to do a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and treat it like a springboard entry. So if it makes a 1, 2, 3 bottom here and breaks above these levels, that is a potential to be an early entry on this and be a small one and really watch it for that exit. 1 year view. That's all the data we have in this chart. So it would be a springboard entry if it's not a simple trading plan 1, 2, 3 bottom. It would be a springboard entry on that. But I'm not even going to mark it. I'm just going to leave it because it's not changing directions for me yet. So maybe tomorrow I'll change my mind on that. Ethereum Classic, what are you doing? Never been impressing me actually. Down to flat. It's been down, 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 down. It's not giving a bottom formation at all. So just ignore it. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. 3-month view. It's still holding above this level from back here. Sort of like EOS. And I'm not as happy about EOS as I am excited about Ethereum that is holding these levels. So when we zoom in on the 1-week view, it's still got lower lows here and lower highs. It's in this channel. So sort of like Ravencoin, this doesn't get me thinking. It gives me no ideas. And we can see that, look at in the long-term view like this, this is back to historical support and resistance, came down to these levels, blasted right up. Now this is what I'm expecting in Bitcoin. Whoops. When Bitcoin does what it's going to do next, so we came up, it's going to come up to the 55, same chart pattern shape. Then it's going to drop down like a knife and scoop right back up again. And so many people are going to get killed and screwed on this. So I really want to be ready for that to happen. And now let's zoom in on, what are we looking at? The 1-day view here, it's still way below the cloud. Zoom in on the 3-month view to see what's going on here. Get that cloud to load in. Still below the cloud. We haven't had a twist in the cloud yet where we saw the twist here. It was a potential for it to turn around. It's sliding off. The conversion line is still way below the baseline. So we have to have a few things turn up in this for this to turn around and be a buy signal. We have to have that crossover. We have to have it go through the cloud. And it'll probably be finishing this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation in the simple trading plan style on the 12-hour view. So it'll be above these levels really before this turns into something good. So nothing doing there. I don't even have a price marked in on that. Factum was a buy signal. We had that buy signal on the, well, and it's going up more. So we had this buy signal here. We were watching for it. We were watching for it all the way through this time. This was one of the springboard entries actually right here, as I did a video, one of the training videos explains that. Prices came up, they pulled back, we were watching all the way through this time, and there's our buy signal right there as it broke above these levels. On the simple trading plan, which is a really conservative approach, it really waits for the trend to change, and this is when we had the crossover and buy signal. And in the simple trading plan, there is no sell signal yet. it's still waiting for a much longer term trend move by waiting for these moving averages to cross over on the 12-hour bars. And even on the 4-hour bars, we haven't had a sell signal. Even though it pulled back this much, there's no get out signal, no warning to be getting out on this yet because of these moving averages not crossing over. I would be watching for a double top here. We'll have to see how that times out with what's going on in Bitcoin. So the profits are stacking up on this one. Very nice trade. Game Credits gave us a buy signal at 1749. And look at that, nice buy signal even on the 4-hour bars here. 1, 2, 3 bottom, consolidated, moving averages crossed over, as it showed strength. So it stands as a buy. We're still floating along with this one now. And the stop loss will be moved up just above that to protect that money. Gas, it wasn't a buy or an alert, but we put this number in here just as a watch. 000634. 000634. So making it get above these spikes, and it really is still building up. Moving averages getting closer together. I like it, and I like what it's done in the past. It's made some big moves. It was doing 90, 100% moves in a single day back in these times. So, and Ravencoin also started off like this, right? And it's coming down. So Ravencoin could do this. And it also gave us a great pre-pump candle here that shows that when the market gets excited about this, there's a lot of people excited about it. So this is a very interesting chart. We're getting some little pre-pump candles here going on. I like it. It's looking great. I might even, and I'll leave that signal where it is, but I'm going to bump that up to an alert now. And then we'll go on to Gollum Network Token, GNT. This will be the world's, oh, look at those pre-pump candles. That's a really nice chart. I think the buy order is up at around 23.33, 23.31. So it still stays as an alert, and a break above those levels would be very nice. Hunter Coin. So it takes itself out of any alert status with that spike to the bottom. This is an inverted popcorn move. Not really, actually, because it's down to new lows. An inverted popcorn move is something, it's in an uptrend, and we get that massive spike down, and then the uptrend continues. So this takes it out of alert status and just leaves it neutral. I'll leave that there. Kyber Network Token, we got a buy signal at 45.44. Are the buy orders in BTC or USD? I'm doing everything crypto versus BTC. So it doesn't matter if you took your USD on Poloniex and you had USDC or USDT and you were able to trade this market, you could go from those into this market, but there's very few. So I think in Bitcoin. I think everything against Bitcoin. So Kyber Network Token gave us this buy right out of this channel, and it would have kicked us out right away, and we'd be looking to get back in on this. So this would be another loss, and I'll mark it as a loss. And then we're looking to get back in on that. Now that it's done that and pumped and pulled back, you know, really, flip a coin. It could be the time to buy in right now. But I'll stand back now, and I'll put my entry higher. I'll give it more requirement to show the turnaround and try not to get caught in these waves of movement. And it's one of the reasons that I teach the simple trading plan, because it keeps you out of the market for these kind of spikes. You don't jump in to this kind of thing. You wait for that break of the downtrend line, the 1, 2, 3 bottom, and the moving average to cross over. So you have all those 3 filters to keep you out of these pump and dumps or the fake out breakouts that really can be a pain in the butt. That makes you trade less often, and it waits, instead of the wave coming up the beach and you react to it, it waits for the tide to change. So just as a reflection on this, closer in strategy is much more risky. So your risk control rules become really much more important And it takes a lot more time to be jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out. So there's a method to that madness of the simple trading plan. Library credits, we have the all those zeros in 636. Nothing going on here. It's hard to keep it as an alert too. Hard to keep it as an alert. We had this massive candle down. That isn't really happy stuff. I'm gonna take that out of alert status. And it should not have been an alert. I think when I look back at it, I don't know why I put that as an alert. Loom, we are looking at 1356 and we got touched in and then we got kicked out. So there's another fake out breakout that stung us. And now the entry is poked up above that fake out breakout. Let's go see what's going on. So here's where we got in on this, out of this little wee tiny 1, 2, 3 bottom, really crazy. And then of course it faded back to retest these levels and we got kicked out. So now the buy order is up above these levels, up in this level, above the support and resistance. So now we're stepping back in this market wisely and making it do some more work to get to us. It's not even an alert yet. Lisk we had as an alert at 000388. Not yet, 000388. So we're putting it above these spikes and making it come to us. And Litecoin was a buy signal at 00766. So we did good on the 00766 buy signal. It's come up and pulled back, but all good on this so far. The 1 month view, so the moving averages and the 4-hour bars have not crossed over, so we can sit in this comfortably. Even though it's come out of this initial channel, it's pulled back and showing a bit of strength right now. So I'm expecting that if Bitcoin does go up to the $5,500, that Litecoin is going to do a nice run, and then we'll be watching as Bitcoin hits that 5,500. What's going on with Litecoin? Not a really nice entry signal here. If I drag this over, let me just trash that one. If I drag this over and see the lower lows here and a channel of lower highs, it's really not the best. We're lucky to get into an entry and on that short-term view. This little consolidation, we got in on the breakout above that. I would definitely have my stop loss above this level to protect that money now. And here we could see the obvious. When it hit this top and tried to come higher, we had a divergence. We had the divergence in the on-balance volume and prices faded back. So my stop would be definitely above this level, and I'd be grateful for the profits and not greedy on this one. Stays a buy signal. And MAID has been a buy signal for a while. We can pull this back and see what the date was, November the 9th, and that was using the simple trading plan. So November the 9th, right in here, was our buy signal as it broke above this level. Came back and retested our entry, and it's come up and it's trending up. It's inside this channel, right at the very bottom of that channel now. Zoom in on that. It's come down and really bled hard on that, so it's getting pretty precarious. But if I'm looking at the 4-hour bars, the 4-hour chart, well, this would, and the 4-hour, it would have said to get out on this because we have a 1, 2, 3 top formation. The on-balance volume shifted down. The moving average crossed over. Could have been an exit there. On the 12-hour bars, it's still not. It's not saying to get out. So we'd still be risking the money that we have in here in order to stay in and hope that we're running a longer trend. So we could have our stop loss just above our entry and protect our money and let the market have its room to do something. Because in the long term, this is such a small move compared to what is coming in this market. And I've been saying that for at least 2 years now. But now it looks much more likely. It could pull back. It could pull back out of this and make this into a larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation before the next move. So stop loss above the entry on this one to guarantee the profit, and we'll continue to hold. Mana, we got in the other day on the 24th at 1378. And Lemar asks, What's good? I've been getting wrecked trying to find the right moment to ride up and down the candles. RSI doesn't predict dumps and don't sell on stop limits. The best thing to do, Lemar, is to step back away from the 15-minute bars. The 15-minute bars are killer because you can jump in on this move, is looking great, and then down it comes again. So the timing to get in is more luck than anything. You know, it's a little bit of looking at these patterns. You can see these big pre-pump candles going on. You know the announcement that Decentraland is having another sale, a second sale of their real estate, and so that I'm anticipating this is going to go up. But at the same time, if you're trading on the 15-minute bars, you're more often to get wrecked. It's one of the reasons that I teach this simple trading plan to use the 12-hour bars, wait for the downtrend line to be broken, then you watch for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and you don't put on a trade until after the exponential moving averages have also crossed over. So you wait for those 3 criteria, and it is incredible amount of patience to wait for that and do nothing while you're waiting for that. And while you're doing that, you're training your brain, you're rewiring the neurons in your brain, literally, to think a different way about money and to take a longer term view of this. So you're not trying to make money between now and the next week, but you're putting your money to work for you, and that money is never going to come out. You're never going to take your money out. Of course, when you have massive profits, you do. But the idea is that this is the goose. Your money becomes the goose that's going to lay the golden eggs. It's the money that's working for you, and you never let it stop working for you. You keep it in there. So you never think of taking your profits out and how much you're going to make and what you're going to buy with it. That's out. You buy that with other money. This money is for investing and for growing. It's not money that you're ever going to spend. In fact, you will die, and some of that money will still be there for your generations of family. You will never spend it. And when you think about it that way, and you make money your friend, go buy the book, Money is My Friend, and read that book. So this is still a buy. Read the book, Money is My Friend. Read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and change the way you're thinking and feeling about money, and then this stuff becomes easier. 40640. This was not an alert for Navcoin. 6451. This is, Lemar, this is stuff that I had to go over and over and over for many years before cryptos came along. And I was rewiring the way I was thinking and feeling about money because in the past, I was angry about money. I was resentful about it. I hated money, how it controlled my life and how I was always short of it. And because I hated it and I had a negative emotion toward it, I never did well with it. I didn't do my accounting properly, which made everything worse. And it was because I had this negative emotion. Every time I sat down to do my budget, I would feel anxious. I would feel anger. I would feel resentment. I would feel, all sorts of negative emotions. And this is not how wealthy people feel about money. They feel anticipation. They feel excitement. They feel they can see in the future of what it's going to do for them. And so they take small actions in the day that make those long-term views possible. And I teach this stuff so that I am saying this out aloud again, so that I am rewiring my own brain even more deeply, so that I am going to become super wealthy. I'm going to have money that I leave to my family when I die, generational changing wealth. Namecoin, bottom formation, shaping up, looking good. I don't know where I put the entry on this. And lots of ones. 4 zeros should be should be 3 zeros in all those ones. My mistake. Take a 0 out and add in an extra 1. That's our buy signal. And it actually is shaping up so nice, I'm going to change that into an alert. And the alerts are important because those are the ones that you would be watching then. If you see that this is marked as an alert, those are the ones you could narrow down your search to, just the ones that are alerts. The ones that are already green, you don't buy into those. They're already bought into. They're a different trade now. NXT and OMG made new #1 bottoms, which kicks them out of consideration until they smarten up and give us a better bottom. So it's still a new bottom, nothing there, nothing going on. OMG, still a new bottom, nothing going on there. This really needs to mature a 1, 2, 3 bottom for us first. Omni, however, is inside a 1, 2, 3 bottom and a break above the 3098, 3097 I said. So that still holding on there, but it's not even an alert yet. It's not pushing up near enough against that. If it was showing a little bit more strength, I might mark that up to an alert, but not yet. And then we go on to PPC at almost the same. 000117 for PPC. I feel like I skipped a bunch. 000117. So this gave us an entry. I don't know when, because it would have given us, I don't know why it would give that as a trading signal. One, two, three bottom. It would have to be above that 000117. What am I doing there? I did skip Pascal. I don't know about that. That's different. I'm gonna reset that. I'm just gonna. I'll have to take that as a 117. It must have been a dyslexic move, but I'll put it in here now as a 000191. If it breaks above these levels, then I like it. And this, I don't know what that was. That's what I'd have to watch that video and actually find out. Pascal coin, we had it as a sell out. If it went below the 69.59, it was a buy signal that we were already holding for Pascal. And there it went, down below that 69.59. So we did sell out of that. We took our position off, and that was our exit signal. And I'll have to update the master spreadsheet so that that loss or that gain or whatever that trade is recorded. Quantum. We said 000727. Nothing going here. Lower lows, so it's sort of kicked itself out now. It moves into a watch category. So this price would still stay as what we're watching for, but there's nothing going on there. Rep was a buy, and then it turned into a cold fish. We had to get out of it, and now we're looking. We moved that buy signal to 00. So it got us in this trade signal, and then it came all the way back and kicked us out, and it's actually looking pretty good. I like this chart pattern. This, if you had left your stop loss down at your entry level and not moved it up too much underneath the price, you would have been stayed in this trade, and it would be looking like an add-on signal here now. So what did I put as a level? 00251, 0025. So I kicked it way up above. I'm going to tighten that in, and I'm going to move it to 00207. 208, and we'll see what goes on. I tightened that up because of the chart formation. It's really looking nice, and these little candles here. So it could continue on from there. And again, it would be rule number 1 and 2 together. So we have a small bit of our position we'd be putting back on again, not the whole trade. SBD was a buy signal a while ago. It's sort of out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't realize properly that this was a stable coin, that it is pegged to $1 US apparently. And so as Bitcoin goes down, this naturally goes up. As Bitcoin goes up, this naturally goes down. So we had a 1, 2, 3 top formation and a break of the trend line. And in the 1 hour bar, the moving average is crossed over. In the 12 hour bar, not even close. But this is not going to trend unless Bitcoin trends downward. So any move this does up is a quick profit take, I'm thinking. But when Bitcoin, and this will come down, if I'm right, and Bitcoin goes up to 5,500, then this will come down. And then get ready, because this would be one of those stable coins, basically, where I'd sell out of all my cryptos and put it into this. I'm not going to do this one, but you could do a percentage into each of the different stable coins. So I'd put a third into USDT, a third into USDC, a third into SBD. Because as Bitcoin does the mega dump from 5,500 down to 2,500, all of these are going to inverse and they're going to pump. So just a note to self there. This is still green. Sia coin was a buy at 76. You talk about different increments for the candles. What would be the most recommended for someone who would be looking at charts once a day? The 12-hour or the 24-hour would be fine. And the simple trading plan should take you no more than 10 minutes a day to go over all these markets. You look at it, you go, yep, no. It really, it's just instant. Once you get used to it, you take this chart and you say, okay, the moving averages haven't crossed over. It's not finished the 1, 2, 3 bottom. It hasn't broken out above. Next chart. And you don't spend any more time than that. But you have to do it daily so that you're ready for that moment when it takes off. And then when it does take off, that's when there's the most work. As soon as you're into this trade, then you've got to be watching it like crazy for that rule number 1 to get out of, unless it proves you correct. So this was a fake out breakout, and it pulled back, and it looked like a pullback in an add-on spot to me at the time, and then it's come back and faded way back down. So lesson learned there, the add-ons should not happen until the price is significantly above and in profit. Then it pulls back into a place where you're still nicely in profit. Then you can add on to that trade, and you're still protecting. You're not going to turn this small little wee profit into a bigger loss by adding on too soon. So adding on correctly is a real key. And if this bull market is going to go on for 12 to 18 months, we're going to see a great opportunity when this goes up and it pulls back down, and it gives us that Ichimoku cloud buy signal in an uptrend. We'll see it come back and touch the cloud. The price will go back up and cross the baseline and cross the conversion line, and we'll know that's the moment to be adding on. So it has added a dimension to the trade here. We bought in at 76, and this pulled back to 74. So there's a loss. And a real regular thing when trading so tight of a time frame. This happens much less often when we're trading that simple trading plan. SNT was an alert at 541. Nothing going on. The alert stays there for 541. Next was Steam, and it was not looking so good, but I put a number in there at 977. 97, so I'm making it come up a ways here. It's 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. A little tick of strength there could be finally, after all this time, it is right at historical lows, right at historical lows. So ideally, it made some big moves off of these levels, but it has to turn around a bit more yet. There's still lots of room. If it does turn around, we've lots of time to be getting into that. No hurry. But it is finally doing something. Finally. And now, storage, one of my favorites. I'm happy to answer all your questions, Samuel. I appreciate them. They're fantastic. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, breakout, and strength. Great. And it's right at this historical level, pretty much, that it came back down to. This is a great project. They're going to have a very good revenue stream and a very good use case. They're already partnered with, what is this, FileZilla. So if you are using FileZilla for your FTP program, they're partnered so that you'll be able to upload your content onto the storage network instead of onto Google Cloud, instead of onto the Amazon Cloud, and all of these content delivery networks. This is going to, it's going to make billions of dollars. And so having a piece of this is a very wise thing, I think. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. Great. It's already given us our trade signal. We'll watch this one for that buy signal in the uptrend by using the Ichimoku clouds. And those will be some of the alerts that I'll be sending out to the people who are purchasing that alert package. And you won't have to sit here through the entire hour of this video or longer to finally get the answers. You can just look at them on the email when they're coming up. STR. All right, so it did bounce off of this level here and give us a bit of strength there. I like it. Looking good. That's very good. I do believe this one's going to go on a massive move, and I think that this pullback was just part of the normal breathing in and out of the market. You know, breathes in, breathes out, breathes in, breathes out, and pretty soon it's gone. And because of the massive triangle here, because of the technology, I think it's going to be going. So this would have been a pullback buy signal maybe. What did we have here? An alert at 3983. Zoom into the 3-day view, and we did indeed touch that. It's pulled back 3983. It would have touched us in, it would have pulled back. So depending on where you put your stop loss and your risk control appetite, you put a small bit of a trade in. This is tough because it really pulled back a good amount. But the official rule is for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation is to leave your stop loss below the number 3. The other way to do it is to immediately get out if it doesn't prove you correct, and then you would be resetting your buy signal up here. So I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to say that we took the loss and we reset the buy signal a little higher. So then when it does turn around and actually goes, it'll pass this and it'll just keep going. So 40.45. So I'll take that as I'll turn that into a red one and move the news to 1, 2, 3, 4, 40.45 and put it back as an alert. Strat. What did we say on this? Nothing. It was not an alert. It's 000206 and it's pulled back from there. 000206. We're really making it work to get up to us. In the 3-month view, it's not that hard, right? It's just getting up to these bottom levels. So yeah, it's giving us another bottom, but we're making it come up past these candle wicks. And if it is changing direction, it's not going to stop there. So that's okay. But it's not an alert, not a buy signal. Syscoin was an alert at 1047. So nothing doing. And Viacoin was 9502. This would have touched us in on a wick. So again, it's preference on your risk tolerance where your stop would be. So if it did this and pulled back and you log back in and say, oh shit, okay, I just close it. I'll wait for this to actually turn around and give me a bigger, better signal. So then I have a better, stronger bottom. And this is one of the reasons again that I do the simple trading plan on the 12-hour bars so that this doesn't happen. The other strategy is to have your stop loss below the number 3 point, anticipating that you're going to give it room to do some crazy things and you're willing to take the loss of this down to there, which if I go shift click, no, okay, I got to go to this, shift click, there we go, finally. So that's, no, it's not small. That's 17%. So if you put your $30 in and you're down 17%, you were down $6 thereabouts roughly. And if you're willing to take that kind of risk, knowing where we are for risk to reward ratio, knowing that you're just playing to get in. But again, it's one of the reasons I don't trade that way very often myself, because I do get killed like that over and over again. You take all these small losses, it's a real frustration. And so this wasn't an alert, but it still turned into a loss because that number was there. And how about VTC 9906? This is another one that's too close to the market. And again, this actually, when I zoom back into this, this is a nice pre-pump candle. In a larger term trade strategy, this is an anticipatory signal. Gives you anticipation that something is building. VTC also did a wick and a candle up there. Probably hit us and broke us back down the same way. 9906, so maybe not. No, so this one didn't do it to us. We were far enough away to protect ourselves from that, so I'll leave that in there and watch it. Then counterparty, we had a buy signal. It turned us in at 000601 on counterparty. X counterparty. And looking good, holding its buy signal. 3-month view, zoom out. So this is a better looking bottom formation. And we're looking at the 12-hour bars. So the moving average crossed over, kicked us out, crossed back over, and give us another buy signal. So depending on how you play that, it didn't break above the number 1, 2, 3 bottom formation until here. Even though we had the moving average crossover, we didn't have, this tiny little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And again, too close. The market always does this. So if you step back away and you're waiting for the tide to come in, you're not trying to jump on every little wave, then you would put on a part of your position here, and the timing went out well because we had the break of the downtrend line. We had the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout, and the moving average had crossed over. So then accumulation of all three signals came into play there. And it continues on to be a nice buy. XEM was an add-on trade. We had already had a buy signal, and then we had the add-on on that market. So we had the buy signal, and it pulled back, and I added on to that way too soon, really. That's adding in more risk than it should be. If I'm going to play this properly, I'm going to wait for it to come up a ways, and then when it pulls back, I'll be ready. So I'll be waiting for it to come up. Maybe wisely, I would wait for this to do something up to these support and resistance levels and pull back a little bit, and then I'd be adding on using the Ichimoku cloud add on to the buy signal in an uptrend. So it comes back and it does all those things, and then it would be the add-on. It's higher risk to be adding on so soon in there, but I did. And it's still a good trade. It's still looking good. So lucky. XPM. This has been down just like a ruler was drawn on the chart, and it hit a bottom and it's doing something here. So it could shape up into a bottom, but after all this time, and I put this number in there already, 0007167. 0007167. On which day did I do that? Because it's down to new lows, and it has 7167. I did that after this move here, and then wrote that in. So I'm expecting that after it breaks above this level, then it would be a buy signal, because it's made a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. If it does come up above that, it is a buy signal, even though it's not the simple trading plan buy signal, because it's not enough of a bottom formation, and the moving averages haven't crossed over. They're pretty close though. Ripple. Ripple looks like it's continuing on this trend now. It's come back and it's shown a couple ticks of strength there. So we had our buy signal, pull back here. We had our buy signal here. Then we had our add-on signal here, and prices have come up. You can see the moving averages haven't crossed over in the 12-hour bars, so there's nothing doing there. Going to the 4-hour bars, the moving average did cross over, so this would have been an exit if you were playing that as your exit. And you would have exited here as well, so it would have been a difficult add-on because it's the 4-hour moving average is crossing over back and forth, back and forth. But ultimately, you would have bought in and sold out at these levels. So you'd have bought in and sold out, took that profit, and then bought in and sold out again. If you're using the 12-hour bars and this moving average, then you would buy in and you would be still holding and you could be adding on, so you'd have a bigger trade when you're right. And that would be appropriate because you had enough profit above it that if this did turn around, you wouldn't eat up all of your profits. So this stays as an add-on trade. It hasn't failed yet. Zcash and ZRX. Zcash, we said 022. Hey, Andrew Williams. Great to have you here. I didn't know you could be listening from the beginning. I thought when you started on the live thing, you just joined in to right where it was, but that's good. I appreciate that. So Zcash, short-term memory loss, 02214. 02214. Did we get touched in there? 02214 just touched us in and then pulled back. Now, that's too bad because that pulled us back a significant amount. If I go shift click, so pull it back 12%. But if we were playing rule number 1, as soon as this pulled back and was not proving us correct, we would get out. And what would happen in the simple trading plan? Probably much the same thing. It's a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. The moving average hadn't crossed over yet, so it wouldn't have signaled us. We didn't get enough things yet. We'd have to wait for 1 or 2 more days for that signal to be given. So again, the simple trading plan keeps us out of markets that are just doing a pump, a fake out, breakout, and pulling back. I think this one is going to keep going though, so I'm going to put that order right back in, even though I'll take that as a loss. I'll assume that that was a loss. I'll put that order right back in at those levels. Because this was just listed on Coinbase, and so it's going to have some movement now. So I'll put that right back in there, 0.0222, and see what that turns into later. So I'll mark this as a loss. ZRX, long time ago we had this 000102. Triple 0102. 3-day view. Looks like it did come up and touch 000102 and pulled back. So there's another one that spanked us. Got a few spankings today. Just because this style of trading is prone to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades gave us a spanking. So that's great. I like to get the data on that because it proves again the wisdom of the simple trading plan. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Wait till the 12-hour bar moving averages crossover. They didn't. And this would be a springboard trade entry here anyway, where we have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And if you get a little 1, 2, 3 on the number 3 point, it could be a springboard trade entry where you're getting in before the big 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shows itself. So before these levels, you're getting in at an extra risk area down there. And yeah, that's definitely an extra risk area. It has not changed directions. It has not shown that the trend has changed. It hasn't broken this massive downtrend line. We had it here before, and it pumped a little bit, but it's pulled back so much that it's not so good. It would be wise. It would be wise to stand back on this market and let it have the time to give us this trend line break. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, the moving averages crossover, and see if it's actually going to go somewhere big, because it's not giving us anything on a long-term trend scale, except that this is another big triangle wedge that if it does break through and start going higher, it's going to go as high as this triangle wedge is long. General rule. You take this wedge and stand it up on its top, and that's how high this will go from this if it does break higher. So that wraps it up. We've gone through the bull market watch again. We've learned some lessons here on this short-term trading style that we jumped into from the 21st of November when everything came down to these levels. And we can see why I've always done that simple trading plan. We had a few spankings here where this killed us, this killed us. So all the way along you can see losing trades, losing trades, losing trades because of trading this short-term system, looking at the 15-minute bars, zooming into a 3-day 1, 2, 3 bottom formation instead of stepping back to a longer trade. Let me go back and look at Stellar. Sure. So this is one that I think is going to be going to the moon, I do believe. And it's because of this massive triangle wedge pattern that was showing up here. And this is a divergence from all the other cryptos, because all the other cryptos did this run up here in the beginning of 2018. And then they went down until March and April. And then they went down, 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 down to be right at old historical levels. And this didn't. It's been holding and holding and holding its own right into this breakout of the triangle. And then it's come back. Let me clean all this stuff off now. And take this top line. Give me a line. All the way along. And now this line that was resistance, 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 resistance has turned into support. Very key pattern here. And I believe this one is going to go from 3,900 to about 1,200 Satoshi. That means it's going to go 3 times up in value from where it is now before the end of 2019, and probably very much sooner. And I think that Ripple is also going to be doing some moves like that. And it may be that this, I think that's, I don't know how much that's worth in coin. Let me go to our Discord chat. We've got a bot here where you can say convert 1 XLM to USD. It's worth 16 cents now. So this will go from 16 cents to $1.60, and from $1.60 to $16 over the next while. I don't know, maybe in the 12 to 18 months. This will do more than one 10 times move. 10 times and then 10 times again. And I'm saying the same thing for Ripple. It'll go from the 50 cents it is now to $5, then from $5 to $50. And some people predict it'll go from there up to $500 or even on to $5,000 per coin, because of what it's doing in the financial sector. It's going to be moving trillions of dollars of value per day, which will give it much more market cap than Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be, it can't get into the financial system the same way that Ripple can. And now, look what Bitcoin's doing. And this is giving us some little bit of pump. What's Come on, BitShares. Give me some love. Let's go back and finish this up with looking at Bitcoin. Zoom into the one-day view. So my prediction is so far turning out pretty good. I was saying it's going to come down and touch 3,800. And I was saying that back here as it was making these bottoms. I was saying it's going to come up to here, then it's going to make this formation. It's going to come back to 3,800, and then it's going to go up to 5,500, and then it's going down to 2,500, all the way since on the 27th or the 26th or something. I was saying that. Now we'll see it play out. We'll see if it plays out. But so far, it's following along. Love to see it. So watch for that when it comes up to the 53 to 5,500. We're going to look for this kind of exactly the same divergence where we'll see it making a new high. The RSI will be diverging. The on-balance volume will be diverging. Zoom in on this. We can see that it made this high on pretty good volume. And then it made a new higher high, but on less volume as the RSI was diverging. And then it faded off from there. If I go to the 1 year view, pull this back, drag this over to the peak, zoom in on this peak. What did we see here? The same pattern. Higher highs. So we had a really good volume on this high, good strong RSI. And then on the next higher high, the RSI was weaker and the volume was weaker. So this was already showing us that the bulls had run out of steam. This is all they could do, and that it was going to be pulling back. So then when Bitcoin does, if it does what I was calling for, and it comes up to the 5,500, we'll see that divergence again that we just saw as it was running out of steam going up. And we'll also see that same thing when it comes down to 2,500. And it's going to be quick and fast. There's not going to be much time to see it. We'll have to be zoomed in on the 1 day bars in order to see that change in the on-balance volume, where we had a good strong bit of volume down to here, less volume down to here. That's very bullish. So we can see we had a little bit lower lows, but the RSI was higher, and the on-balance volume was very different as well, where there's just a lot of selling volume here, not as much selling volume here. The bears have run out of steam. They don't have the guts now. They don't have the power, and the bears are picking up. The bulls are picking up and starting to march now. You can see the on-balance volume turning positive. It's great. I love watching all this stuff. It's a great deal of fun, and I appreciate having you guys watching along. There's been I see a couple dozen people here for most of the stream. 17 people up in the top corner here. Awesome. And that about wraps it up for this evening. Great to have you along. I hope that this helps us become wealthy. I appreciate having you here, Samuel. I love the questions. The more questions, the better. Because if you have a question, somebody else has the question. And if I can give an answer that makes a difference, I'm doing something in the world that's making my time on the planet worth more. If I can help other people, and if I can help other people that I can never get a chance to meet in person, helping people around the world, I love it. There's been more than 2,000 people who have taken my free and paid courses on the IntroToCryptos.ca from 70 different countries around the world. And I think that's just astonishing. I love it. And I'm looking forward to more of that coming up in the next while. That's it. Thanks again, Elwell Chandra from India. There's another example. I love it that I'm able to help somebody in India. Fantastic. That's it for now. Good luck in all of your cryptos, and we'll talk to you on the weekend.